Exact numerous timetable for producing Antichrist. The following article is part of a series of articles related to an Illuminati plan to ignite Jupiter as a sign in the heavens that will herald the coming of the New Age Christ, Antichrist. Okay, so we specifically conclude that if Jupiter was going to be ignited, God would have to allow Satan to ignite it by supernatural power. We also did our homework to verify the importance of the dates and positions of the planets, as the Illuminati planned to use these positions at these dates. Although we were skeptical, we know that Bible prophecy foretells of signs in the sun, moon, stars, and the Antichrist will have awesome supernatural powers. We know that we cannot count on the word or plans of the Illuminati. However, we do know that we can count on the word of God. If there were any chance that its feat could be accomplished, we wanted to make sure that our readers would know that it was not a sign of the second coming and be deceived into thinking the Antichrist was God. It would have been foolish and irresponsible for us to keep silent on the matter. Okay. After publication of the first article, we began to get many new opinions from scientists that Jupiter could actually be ignited, as well as many confirming that we were right and Jupiter could not be ignited. We also began to get new possible dates for the event from former occultists. Then, President Clinton made a statement about something that would light up the sky on New Year's Eve, which we wrote about in News 1331. Okay. However, having said all this, we believe the plan to ignite Jupiter into a second sun in our sky will occur. But according to God's timing, not Satan's, God is in control of the timing of the entire tribulation period. On several occasions, the Illuminati wanted to bring in their coveted New World Order but could not because of God's restraints. But when the timing comes to ignite Jupiter and you see a new sun in our sky, you will have been forewarned that this new sun is of Satan, not God. You will also know to expect the soon appearance of Antichrist. Okay. It is interesting that as all of this timing of Jupiter was going on, a plan was made public that the Great Pyramid was going to be kept on New Year's Eve. When the plan became public, the Egyptian government appeared to cave in to public pressure, and cancelled the plan. Was it a cave into public pressure, or was it postponed because Jupiter did not ignite it on December 6th, 1999? Okay, so when the pyramid is captured, the symbolism the Illuminati is flashing to the world that Lucifer has come to Earth to reign and to rule. It means that Antichrist is soon to appear. We want to make sure that when the Illuminati does cap the pyramid, our readers know exactly what is going on and what to expect. At this time, we have seen that the Illuminati has not been able to ignite on either December 6th or December 31st dates, and we are hearing new dates. We cannot be sure whether they tried and failed or whether the whole plan has been rescheduled. We remain skeptical, but we feel that it is better to be informed and prepared than surprised and unprepared. Biblical prophecy concerning timing of Antichrist's appearance. Okay, so first, let us examine biblical prophecy to see if God has foretold whether man can know the exact day of the appearance of Antichrist. Most Christians are familiar with Jesus' statement that no man could know the timing of his return for his church, and vaguely feel this prohibition applies equally to the timing of Antichrist's appearance. Let us open our scriptures. Timing of rapture for the church. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Matthew 24:36 to 37. Excuse me. In chapter 24 of Matthew, Jesus told his disciples of all the signs by which people living in the end of age might know that the time of his return was close. A little earlier, Jesus told them boldly, "Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the door." Matthew 24:32 to 33. Okay. Therefore, we know that the people living in the end of the age can know the approximate time Jesus returned for his church in the rapture, but we will never be able to know the exact day and hour. Since Israel came back to her land on May 15, 1948, the end of age has been officially in progress. We know that this generation shall not pass away. Verse 34, until Jesus returns for his church. We also know that Matthew 24:36 to 37 cannot be speaking of the time Jesus returns after the 7 years tribulation has ended. Why? Because God has been very specific about the length of this period. It will be exactly 7 Jewish years long, or 2,520 days. The beginning point of this 2,520-year period will be when Antichrist confirms the covenant with Jewish, religious, and secular leaders as foretold in Daniel 9:27. Parable periods of specific time are also foretold in Daniel 12:11 to 12 and Revelation 11 to 3 and 13:5. People living in this tribulation period will be able to know with mathematical certainty the very day Jesus is returning to earth to defeat Antichrist and set up his millennial kingdom. Therefore, Jesus must be speaking of the rapture of the church in Matthew 24:36-37, timing of the appearance of Antichrist. 2 Thessalonians 2:1-8 gives us some tantalizing clues concerning the timing of Antichrist. Let us examine this prophecy in its natural divisions. In verses 1 to 2, we see that the people of Paul's day were expecting Antichrist and the tribulation period right then. In fact, some of the people had been convinced by false teachers that they were already in that tribulation period. Number 2, in verse 3, Paul tells them this view is false, that Antichrist cannot arise until the falling away comes first. Once this apostasy comes, then Antichrist can arise. The word used for falling away is the Greek word apostasia, which has two meanings. First, it can mean the drifting away of belief formerly held. Secondly, it can mean a sudden departure of something. Many scholars believe this passage means both a drifting away by many in the church who formerly held firm doctrinal position and the rupture of the church. In verse 4 to 5, Paul tells the people of Thessalonica that Antichrist will fulfill the prophecy in Daniel 11:36-37 of profaning the Holy of Holies because of his supernatural arrogance and pride.